Welcome guys to part 10 of the Landau build. New South Wales is still in lockdown, as most of you know, so we still cannot go out to play with race cars or go on any road trips, so we're going to keep on working on this bad boy here. So in the last episode you saw that with the exception of the roof from the B pillar forward, we are completely done with the rust repairs. We can wipe our hands of that, it's all sorted. But we are going to keep going, and we're going to be working on the wheel arch here behind me, and we're going to be checking out any further damage on both rear quarters. Let's take a closer look at what we're going to be dealing with. And as we have a closer look in here, we can see the inner wheel tub needs some repairs. We can see the replacement sill that's been installed. We need to do the inner skin, and of course we've got to do the outer skin of the wheel arch as we move up. Some very minor repairs to the lower quarter there, and as we work our way around the quarter, it's pretty solid until we get to the back that just needs a few more repairs. Most of the inner is quite good. And moving on to both of these quarters, if we take a close look, we've got a lot of crusty old paint and body filler underneath there. There's definitely signs of some previous body damage, maybe not too heavily damaged, but we won't know until we have a closer look. And on the inside of each side we can see some ugly plates that have been installed as part of the convertible bracing, so I think we'll pop all that crap out whilst we're at it. And a quick play around on the driver's side previously has revealed some damage that's been welded and plated up here. It's really rough, and I'm hoping that there's only going to be some minor issues like this and that the rest of the quarters aren't too bad. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of people slap a lot of bog on quarter panels, when if they just panel beaded it a little bit better, it would have come up all right. So we'll tackle that and see how we go. And so we'll start with the inner tub. We can see that this part was replaced long ago when the floor and chassis rails were installed, but the outer section of tub is quite rotten. We have a sample piece here from the XC sedan donor. It's also fairly rotten, but being a piece that I can hold in my hand, it'll be very easily to replicate. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. So we'll replicate the bottom half and then we'll do the top half. Starting to get the basic shape through the English wheel. We're going to shrink some of that now to assist. I know this looks rough, but this will give us our basic shape. And then we'll panel beat and fine tune it right at the end. You can see it needs a heck of a lot more shrinking. Starting to get pretty close now, we'll just finish up fine tuning. And after a bit of a clean up on the previous repairs, and a bit more mucking around on the panel, you're pretty much ready to make that fit. So with the lower section done, we need to look at doing the upper section of the inner, but we're going to cut this section away first, so we've got plenty of clearance to take care of it. And here we are, cut back to clean steel. Only a minor piece to install there. So I've made a very soft edge on that one for a reason, and that softness is to replicate here. And we now have to look at reshaping it with a shrinker. So we will shrink that part for this fold and stretch this section for that fold. You can see how that's working. You can see it's starting to take its shape, so we'll keep on fine-tuning it. And that profile's starting to match nicely now, so we'll just continue to create that shrinkage there, and we'll have a nice fitting panel. You can see that curve coming along. And now, after a bit of trimming, it's completely ready to fit. And with the inner tub all sorted, it's time to see what we've got behind this lower quarter. We've got some rust that is so minor that it will actually fill in with some weld. Beautiful. Easily taken care of. Righto guys, before we move forward with the outer wheel arches here, there is a misconception that I wish to clarify with everyone. So in my hand here is a driver's side front fender wheel arch. Now the misconception is that if you want to repair the entire wheel arches on a hardtop, you take the opposite front guard and you chop the wheel arch out and you put it on. Now I'm going to now hold this driver's side wheel arch and put it on the passenger side, and I'm going to show you just how different they are and why it's important to make sure that you use the correct replacement panel. And now as we work our way around, we try to hold the profile as close as we can. It's not a match here on the front. It's fairly even as we work our way around to the middle. But at the end here, it is completely off. And you can see it just does not follow the same profile. Now having said that guys, just because these can't be used as a full wheel arch replacement, it does not mean that they are useless. You can certainly take little patches out of them and repair as you go along. You simply can't do the whole lot in one go. That's the main point of what I'm getting at here. And to repair this, we are in fact going to use this front section here, and it'll make it really bloody easy. We'll show you how it's done. And after a bit of a trim, we've got ourselves a very neat little fit. So it's time to weld it all up, and we'll take care of these as well. And that there will take care of the front half. And looking at this, I think we'll take care of that in 2 pieces. And now for our final piece. That now sees the entire left-hand wheel arch and bottom quarter completely repaired. Bloody beautiful. And so guys, moving forward, time to strip all this bog off these quarters. I'm using a heat gun. It's not really the way I want to do it, but it is peeling it off without making a huge amount of mess and dust. And we'll finish it off with the larger purple strip disc. But look, so far I'm not seeing any real reason for this amount of body filler. I suspect someone's just laid a smear all across it so far. Well, you can see how the heat gun is slowly starting to strip it all back. Righto guys, what we've now exposed, finishing off with the strip disc after getting the bulk of it with the heat gun. There's not a lot of reason here for the level of bog. You can see there's a bit of thickness to it, and what I'm actually suspecting is that, let's say you have a dent here like that, what often happens is as that pushes in, the surrounding material as a perimeter will raise up. So a lot of people who don't take care of knocking this dent out don't get rid of the bulge that's going around there. So as a result, you see full panels completely covered in a layer of body filler. So I suspect as we keep going, that's what we're going to find. But look, so far, so good. Pretty heavy on the bog down this end of the pillar. Look at that. guys, don't know how well you can see it, but almost a lot of this body line has been creased. It explains why there was so much body filler. And behind the filler neck, we've also got a similar issue, right where the surface rust is. And I'm going to show you on a little bit of a close-up as to why some of these dents have to be fixed properly so as to avoid so much body filler. And as we hold the straight edge against the dent here, which I have marked, you can see there's a gap in the middle and there's quite a significant gap on each side. Now the problem is, right here where I'm putting this mark is a high spot. So I'm going to go inside now and I'm going to knock that out, and you'll notice the difference between the gap afterwards. And now if we look at the same spot, a lot of that gap has been reduced. Therefore there's no need for filler on this side or for filler on this side anymore. However, there's quite a few of them. Where my finger is right here is another part that's been pushed out because that has been dented in. So again, once we pull this out, we will avoid a lot more filler. So we're going to have to go around the whole quarter and take care of it that way, including the entire body line that's been pushed in. We've also got a very ugly patch panel on the top here, which has not been done properly. It sits below the infill panel, much the same as the other side, but this side is worse. We'll have to sort that out and put some new steel in. And the remains of that pillar are absolutely shocking. Having said that though, overall it's not a bad quarter, and we're going to take care of most of these dents once we pull the parcel tray and all the other intersections out, so we've got nice and easy access with a dolly and hammer. We better get a move on and take care of this driver's side as well. I'm expecting much the same issues here, to be honest.
And interestingly enough, guys, I'm not even finding any real form of body filler on the back of this rear quarter. This section here is still the original paint underneath the replacement paint, and I'm finding the same thing occurring here, so that's bloody brilliant so far. And now, having made a pass over the entire quarter, there's basically no body filler at all on this lower section except for the very back here. Happy days.
And so now, as we've stripped the rear guard, we can assess the damage. We've got a dent here on the body line. We've got some rather big denting here in the middle section of the arch at the body line. With our previously mentioned damage here on the top that went under the infill panel, and of course the same butchery on the pillar itself. Overall though, I have to say, it's not too bloody bad. Alright, we'll get some of these sorted, shall we? guys, and as you would have just seen, we've relocated the bracing here. We basically need to have room to work on this parcel shelf moving forward. We cut these sections out just so we can see how much of the original inner frame we've got left to work with, and also to get access to this inner section of the quarter panel. So let's chop this out the way and keep on going. And so, as I suspected, there's no inner frame to speak of in there. It will give us easy access for this pillar, of course, but we're going to have to make this frame from the parcel tray down as it goes up for the pillar. And much the same as the other side, we're pretty much stopped at this level of the parcel tray. And so now guys, we can completely confirm this panel is going to be removed in its entirety, as well as this inner C channel for the C pillar, and a little bit of bracing that goes along here. It's going to give us plenty of clear and easy access to both sides of the quarter panels. So we're going to tackle that section later. We'll just take care of what we can currently access. And now this repair will require barely even a skim body filler. And so we've now made a line, guys, where the body line is meant to be. If we have a look here where the marker pin is, I don't know how well you can see it with the reflection. This is currently a high spot because it has been pushed in on the body line here. I'm going to be very limited to my access through the quarter panel. Like I said before and touched on, we're going to have to remove the parcel tray area and inner panels in order to access here properly, and we're going to stick with that. So we're going to do as much as we can across here, and we'll call this quarter done for today. And so the way that we'll start this off is to put the dolly on the high part, and from the inside knock out the lower part. And then we'll do an exact reversal and have the dolly on the inside and the hammer knocking down the high part, and that should get us pretty damn close. And that there is a world of difference. And much like the other side, guys, we've got the same problem here on the passenger's quarter. Unfortunately, it's on a much larger scale. Not a drama, we'll have that sorted. And we'll finish off today's video by filling in these holes for a trim ring that somebody has fitted from a GS. And there we are, guys. That pretty much wraps up the episode number 10 of the Landau scrap metal build. So we now have the left-hand wheel arch completely taken care of. We have exposed both sides of the quarter panels and gotten a much better idea of what we're dealing with. overall it's not too bad and we've started to make some progress on it. So in next week's video, we're going to keep on stripping out the parcel tray and we're going to look at removing the inner braces for the quarter panel so we can access the middle section properly. We'll keep on panel beating it and we will repair the sections below the infill panels as well. And whilst we're at it, we're going to take care of the boot gutters. We have quite a bit of rust on these gutters, and whilst we're pulling it all apart, we'll be able to get some decent access to that as well. So as always, don't forget to join us, like, share and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Cheers guys.
Ah! Oh, fuck that. Fuck yeah, the bastard. Fuck that hurt.
Oh, fucking why will you fucking come out, you prick? Oh, for fuck's sake. Ow, fucking ouch, hot paint. Oh. That helps if we switch it on. Dickhead. Oh. Oh, fucking hell. Oh. Oh. Oh, that hurt. Oh, you can't. Fuck you. Oh, you turd.
No, there twice.
Ow.
That's okay.
Oh, you
Consider
fucker.
a rookie.
Ow. Fucking ouch. Shut up, cunt.
Gold. That's hilarious.